Hello and welcome to this webinar for newly admitted students to the Master Program in Sustainable Technology. And welcome to our hosts, Program Director Monica and Student Ambassador Akif. Please feel free to submit your questions during the webinar and the presenters will answer as many of them as possible at the end of the presentation. Okay, let's go and get started. Thank you.
Thank you, and very welcome to this webinar about the Sustainable Technology Master Program. My name is Monica Olsson.
And I'm Akif. Nice to meet you all.
Yeah. So we hope you will get a nice presentation now of our program. We will talk about KTH a bit, about the program, about student life, and I hope Akif will interrupt me whenever he has some interesting inputs. I know he has. So welcome all. The master program is called Sustainable Technology, but it has a subtitle, Principles and Applications of Industrial Ecology, which means that it is also a master program in industrial ecology. I would like to present myself a bit. As I said, I'm the program director. My name is Monica. I was actually here from KTH. Now I'm working at SEED, which is a department of resource, energy and infrastructure. My background is engineering here at KTH in biochemistry, mainly molecular biology. But today I'm working mainly with resources and waste management. As a program coordinator, of course, I will be much in contact with you. I'm also the director of studies, but in my free time, which I have some, I very much like hiking, especially in the Alps, because my parents are from there. I very much like bird watching, and I really enjoy the outdoor life here in Stockholm area and in Sweden, which we will come back to because I think that's an important part here, right? You will also talk about that later on. So this is me, and I leave to Akif to present himself.
So I'm MD Akif Rahman, and I did my undergrad in mechanical engineering from Bangladesh, and I have been over here for the past 2 years. I'm in my last year of my studies. Will be doing my master's thesis now, and it's really nice over here coming from a country like Bangladesh to Sweden and at KTH, and it kind of gives you a very different experience like I never had before. And also you can see over here the other person, that's Victoria Tidland. She is the master's coordinator of the program. And if you have any queries or if you need any kind of information or any help, you are always free to contact her or Monica or me for anything, at any time.
Yeah, so we actually cooperate a lot between different personnel here and the students. So you will hopefully get an answer to your questions. We would like to start with wishing you welcome to KTH, which is the largest and oldest of the technical universities in Sweden. And just recently also was ranked the number 7 in sustainability. That's very good news. So KTH is very highly ranked as a sustainability university, which also shows both internally in our work, but also in the programs of KTH, but mainly I would say in our program.
Yes,
we are the
true.
Most sustainable program here. So you should feel proud about it.
You should feel proud that you're part of the Sustainable Technology program, which is like kind of the core program in sustainability at KTH, which is the 2nd ranked university in fields of sustainability. So you're in the top 10 now.
Exactly. You can take that with you working in project. Just to show you the outline of the campus, KTH consists of several schools. I think there's 7 of them now. And your master program is under the School of Architecture and Built Environment, so the ABE school as we call it. And if I get this pointer right, so you have the public transport.
That's a public transport. From there you can take the bus and also the subway, which over here it's called Tunnelbana, and it's just like 1 or 2 minutes from the main university, the main campus. and that's very convenient for all the students. Like if you have a morning class at 8 a.m., so you don't have to like rush from the station. And also you have all the different facilities of the university, like the KTH entree, where you get all the information regarding your life over here, like the accommodation and other problems. Then you have the KTH library, where you also have the group rooms where you can work, and that's really nice. And then you also have the student union building, where that's the common place for all the students to have lunch and also your meals, or you can have like hang out over there when you're having some free time or break between classes. And also the accommodation is near, the KTH accommodation that's being provided for the students regardless of the international and like the European students also. And you can also see our department, like the seed building.
Actually, no.
Yeah, it's not marked over there, but it's over there. Yeah.
So Victoria, as we told you about before, she's sitting here in the architecture and built environment. We are at the moment sitting here at the president's office. What you also can see here is the very green areas, the Royal National Park. So there will be a lot of possibilities to do lunch breaks in the forest. And we have the sport center.
And we also have the sports center, which is just close to the president's office.
I can show you.
And you have different kind of facilities over there, like you have gymnasium, then you have yoga classes. You also have opportunities to play badminton, volleyball, basketball, then the hockey that they play, the indoor hockey one, I would say. And yeah, you have different activities that can keep you fit, because like a fit body is necessary for a
fit mind. Yes. So we really want you to stay fit during the studies.
Yeah. So the campus kind of offers you both indoor and outdoor activities, basing on which one you prefer or want to explore.
Yeah. And also, as you can see here, and as you probably know, Stockholm is situated on several islands, and it's very close to the archipelago. And I mean, in the weekends, it's easy to go out with the boats to explore it. And we have possibilities to.
The city itself has a lot of outdoor opportunities for people who want to explore. So you're most welcome.
Yeah, and we have also something called access of the public access to areas, so you can go tenting and camping. And you are welcome everywhere, I would say, out in Asia if you do your rentings. Okay, let's leave the large campus and go into our department. So this is the new building then, the seed building, and we are situated right here in So right here on floor 5, I'm sitting there. So you're welcome anytime to contact me in case you have questions or want to discuss something. So you will see this building. We will have the reception and everything like that. Say that at SEED, then we are coming from an old division called Industrial Ecology. So that's why also the master program is focused on industrial ecology. We'll talk about what industrial ecology is, but it's mainly the relation about technological systems and the environment, I would say. So this is a seed building, and then now we just want to explain a little bit about what is industrial ecology. I guess maybe you know, but just to show our view of it. So
okay, so
explanation here.
Industrial ecology is kind of the concept that like when the byproduct or the waste from one industry becomes the principal raw material, or maybe a part of the raw material for other industry. So it's more of like turning a linear flow of materials, or energies into a circular one, so that like there is a better use of resources, less impact on the environment. The concept is being borrowed from the nature, which is like, as you know, like the ecological system of the nature, where the plants and the insects, the animals, all they live together in the same environment, and they kind of depend on each other, and they use the resources of each other for their own survival without harming each other. So from there, the main principal concept of the industrial ecology is being borrowed. And that's kind of the main, I would say, the baseline or the base of our program. That's the sustainability, sustainable technology.
So circular economy, as the new concept is said now, it's an integrated part of the industrial ecology, actually. So we will talk a lot about circular economy and systems like that. This also means that we will have a much holistic on the concepts that you will learn. As you know, technology cannot be used on its own. It has to be in cooperation with social sciences and social aspects, environmental aspects, and so on.
And also economical.
Economical, not to forget, and all this combined to build this sustainable society. Yes. So this also raised the question, why should we have a master program in this? So why not only have a program in technology? And I would like to emphasize actually that this master program, as I said, it's a program in industrial ecology. It's not a technical focused program. It's not about building a windmill. It's more about, do we need this windmill, or do we need this product, or can we use it, can we make it in another way?
And also, like, say for example, if you're a chemical engineer and you have this product, and you have to use these toxic materials, and then as a chemical engineer your work is just like to maybe formulate or just till the formation of the product, but after that what happens to the toxic materials is not your concern anymore. That's been the traditional way so far. But what this program teaches you is like, no, like when you're making a product or when you're seeing how a product can serve, then you take a holistic view. You have to see from the cradle to the grave, so that, I mean, you just don't shift the burdens from like your part to the next. So it's more of like making it more circular, and also like taking a more holistic view to solve one particular problem, not just like okay, so my part is done now, this is up to someone else. No, you just have, we are being taught to like take the whole system as like some analysis of the overall process or the product.
Exactly. So in sometimes, I mean, you don't even need a product. You need you need the service of the product. And this about the master program, why having a master program in this area? Well, there has been a large demand nowadays from the industry, from society, that the people working there, so both engineers and managers, they need to have knowledge about more interdisciplinary sciences, and they need to know how to work with strategies for sustainable development. So not only technical aspects, but to take the whole responsibility.
The concept of sustainability is based on the three pillars, which is like the social aspect, the economic, and the environment. So if you have a solution which is technologically sound and also is good for the environment, but technically feasible, then it's not a sustainable product, or that's not a sustainable solution. So over here, you're kind of taught to like make or provide solutions which ticks all the three boxes of the sustainability.
And when we have talked to companies, they always say sometimes they don't know, you know, I mean, what you are from a master program of sustainable technology, what do you know? So when you explain them as a student, you know, I know this, and I can approach your problem in a more holistic way, they say, this is exactly the people that we need. This is exactly what we want. So I think this is a very important part of why you should take a program like this, and why we want to educate you in this way. So technology's role and how to prevent problems with the ecosystem, that is why we want this program. And so the Master of Sustainable Technology, again, on the concept of industrial ecology, it also means that if you work with these holistic problems, you need knowledge, and the program will give you knowledge in critical thinking, for example. So you need to be very critical of all the solutions that you will see, and you will be, as Keith also said, you will be able to do system analysis of these solutions. You will be practiced in problem-based training, and you will also do a lot on analysis of systems and material energy flows and things like that. That means that we look at industrial systems as a core, but of course also on urban systems, since they're interconnected, and sometimes industrial systems are part of the urban systems. We also look on material and energy flows and on the supply of food and water supplies, for example. And for all this, you need methodology. So a main method that we learn about or teach about life cycle assessment, but also other environmental analysis methodologies and other types of methods. So
over here, and LCA is kind of that life cycle assessment is kind of the main, I would say, tool that's being used to assess the impacts of all the service or product or anything on the environment, or like even you can also figure it out like how much it have an impact on the environment or society or on the economy, all these things. So yeah, it's a very important part of the program.
So question, who are the TSUTM students? I should say TSUTM, it's a the Sustainable Technology Master Program, in case you see this.
So we have students all over the world, from Asia, from South America, from Europe, of course, and also the States. And it's because of all these different backgrounds, it's really helpful for us, for the students, to work with different groups, because when they come from different backgrounds, they bring their own ideas, own solutions to maybe a problem that's also like that's also a problem for maybe students from other backgrounds. Say, for example, similar problems may exist in both Asia and Europe. So when a student is coming from Asia and also a student coming from Europe and working on the same problem, they may have different approaches to the problem, and if these two approaches are combined, it kind of makes a better solution for that particular problem. So different backgrounds, and also not only from nations, and it's also like different educational backgrounds.
So you have bachelors in technology, we have bachelors in management, we have economy, social sciences. So
in my class, I have friends. I'm a mechanical engineer. I have civil engineer friends. I have friends from ICT. I have friends from environmental science, social science, even financial background. I have one friend who has done his bachelor's in economics.
And this, of course, creates frustration sometimes, but in the whole, we have very positive responses from the students being from these different backgrounds. I would also like to add actually that the gender equality is very high. So we have around 50% women, 50% men. So it's also something that contributes to the diversity, I would say, of the program a lot. To the courses, the program, the formal things. At KTH, sorry, all courses at KTH, or all programs at KTH are divided into, well, the master program is 2 years, of course, semesters, 2 semesters per year. I think that's the same at most universities. But then we have something called periods. So you have 2 periods for each semester, meaning that when you start the first fall, you have 2 periods, and those are dedicated to the mandatory courses. So you have the mandatory courses collected in 1 semester. And then the rest of the semesters, so semester 2 and 3, you have conditional courses and conditional elective courses and, elective courses. That was what I was going to say. And of those, you need like 5 conditional elective courses, and then you can support them with elective courses. And then, of course, you have the thesis. So I will just give you a very short overview. This is a list of conditional elective courses, and you need 5 of them for the exam. That means you can either, and of course for 2 semesters, you need actually, what is it? You need 60 credits. So 5 of courses, each course is 7.5 credits. That means that you also can choose elective courses, which are courses not given necessarily by our program or our division. It can be all over KTH. It can also be from other universities. It can be language courses, one maybe. But it needs to be then confirmed with me. I should also say we don't have tracks in the program, so you cannot choose tracks, but you can make your own track. So in case you are interested, for example, in management-oriented courses or want to make a management track, or if you have a background, meaning you cannot take the most technical courses like the clean production, then you can choose courses that will create this management track. You can choose ecological economics or environmental management. On the other hand, if you think, okay, so I'm at the technical university, I want to read more technical oriented courses, then I would say you choose the cleaner production course, you choose waste management, you choose material energy flow accounting and so on. And then you can also choose elective courses like energy, renewable energy, mechanical engineering.
Then you have energy planning and energy planning and application, energy management. So it's, I would say this is a very nice opportunity for students, because like, since you'll be from different backgrounds and you may have your own preferences, like I want to have more knowledge in the technical side, or subjects on which is more related to my undergrad. So for example, for me, I took the technical courses mostly so that it fits my mechanical engineering background. Then the friend I was talking about who's from economics, he took green economics, which is economics and also kind of teaches how it can be incorporated with sustainability issues or environmental friendly related investments kind of things. I mean, I'm not in that course, so I can't really explain, but green economics is teaches us things on like that. So what my point is, like, if you're from different backgrounds, you have this liberty to choose your programs which suits you the most. You don't have to be like a technical person and just go with the very general or management type of courses. So I mean, you have this liberty, and which is like really good for your career. Yeah.
I would say so. Last semester is dedicated to the thesis, and you're in this position right now?
Right now I'm currently doing my thesis, and you have this option of doing your thesis with different institutions, not only at KTH. You can do it with different companies, different Swedish agencies like the Swedish Environmental Agency or the Swedish Research Institute, and you also have the different companies. I mean, it's all depends on where you want to work or where you find your interest. And the thesis is also a platform where you kind of grow your networks, and this is like statistically, this is the platform from which you get the most, like most of the students are recruited to their current job from the thesis or with the thesis that they do with. So yeah, and also like there is a good opportunity with different types of options, and yeah, depends on what you want to do, and there is always something for you to do.
Yeah. So we will help you with some thesis suggestions, but you can also like create your own in contact with the companies. I would also like to say, so this is very much also part of the partnership that KTH has with different companies. So in our research areas, which I will show you a bit later, usually we have a partnership with either authorities or organizations or companies in different ways, or other universities in other countries or in Sweden. And for your students, as Akif said, this is an important part of the networking. Also, some of the later courses, like the courses in the last semester before the thesis, some of the courses, they are also in connection with companies. So you do projects together with companies. You will start networking during your studies here. And KTH, as a general university, also has these events where companies come to KTH and present themselves, and you as a student can go there as a fair and ask questions. So you will get.
So it's not only the thesis, I would say, it's also like not only the last courses, but also like we had courses in second semester where we worked with different companies like the Stockholm Exergy from the energy management course, and there also you get to create all these networks. And yeah, as she was saying, that there are other also events at KTH where there is ample opportunities to create more networks and to know more people from your area of interest. And yeah, that's it. Yeah, on this one.
Yeah. Just to give you one example, of course, most of the thesis projects are done in Sweden and in connection somehow with KTH or related companies or partnerships, but also you can go abroad. And we have this one example then from China where we had 2 students, a Chinese and a Swedish one, going to China to do their thesis. So there are lots of opportunities to do the thesis in what you would like to do and what you would like to learn about. I would go back to the lectures a bit, or to the actual courses a bit, because at KTH you have a pedagogical approach called CDIO concept, which stands for conceiving, designing, implementing, and operating. And this means that during a course you don't only learn about the subject, but also the way you learn about it. We use different methodology, different pedagogical methodologies. Lectures, of course, but these are very informal.
Yeah.
So you can always feel free to ask questions and interrupt.
And the lectures are, I would say, it's not like one-sided that a person comes and just from the slides and then leaves the class. No, it's more of like small discussions between the students and the teacher or the lecturer who's coming. Sometimes we have guest speakers from different companies, and it kind of creates an opportunity or an atmosphere where there you can exchange your ideas and explore more than what the person initially had to offer. So it's I would say it's really nice because you get to learn more than what was initially taught of in the lectures. And also we have different other than the lectures, we have seminars, we have group works, we have presentations, and the presentations may differ. Like we had poster presentation in the waste management course that was taken by you. And so all these events, all these type of methods of teaching kind of or increases your skills in like oral presentation or develops your IT skills to some extent. Then also there's this course that's research methodology, which is one of the mandatory courses. It also teaches you to like how to write a scientific report on any scientific matter or any subject. And it initially when we had the course, to be honest, like in the first semester when we had this course, we were like, oh come on, why this research methodology course? But I mean, what is going to be?
We did our bachelor, we know everything about writing.
We did our undergrad thesis, so yeah, we know everything. But it kind of like later when we had the other courses and there were these assignments, these group reports, this normal reports, and the other I would say writings that we had to submit, and there it kind of helped to structure our writing. And I mean, we could see it benefited us later. And also since we come from different backgrounds and different countries, we have different style of writing, so it kind of puts like uniformity in all the writings, and also at the same time teaches us how to write more scientifically, I would say. For different purposes.
And I would also go back to the lectures a bit, because if you look at the lectures, well, some of them are quite large. You're quite maybe 80 students, 80, 90 students, because we also get students from other programs into some of our classes. So those could be large, but when you work in seminars or in project groups, of course, these will be much smaller. So you're divided into smaller groups, like maybe 15, 20 students. So they're very different amount of students in a class or in a kind of a project or whatever you want to do there. Connected to the thesis again, I would like just to present the areas of research that we do at our division or at our department, mainly in the industrial ecology part. So just to give you some examples, we have research groups doing a lot of research in biochar, both biochar connected to Kenya and biochar for purposes in Stockholm.
That's what I'm.
Where you are connected.
I'm doing my thesis, and it's really interesting. Like I never thought biochar had so many different uses before.
No. Yeah. And it's quite a new area, so we are in front there, I should say. Yeah. Also, we have a project group called Sea Farm, which is mainly on the West Coast. So we have like a group working a lot on the West Coast, and there they look into new products from algae, chemicals, whatever, and also
we had
farming.
A study visit over there, right?
You also had a study visit over there, yes. Yeah. So this is quite a big group, also in the front area of researchers, so to say. And then we work with urban systems like Royal Seaport area, which is part of Stockholm, where we look at the resource flows, but also smart city. So IT solutions, big data, how you can create resource efficiency and how you can incorporate persons living in this area into living more sustainable. And then we look at material flows, for example, like recirculating nutrients from the sea to land in the Baltic Sea area. So these are just some examples of the research which you could be involved in the thesis, or take another. There will be a new research groups also coming up. So this is only parts of it. And then, of course, one of the main questions usually that we get is, do I get a job and what will I work with? So we made a survey of the alumni that went out, and these are some examples. Just first, I would like to say, yes, working prospects are very good. As I said before, companies really want those types of engineers or managers. Some of you, nearly 50%, go for PhD studies later on, either at KTH or other universities. Some go back home, some stay in Sweden. We have people working with teaching and research, different universities. We have, as you see in the list here, we have people working with materials and the sustainability of materials, like Akif talked about the chemicals, for example. A lot of students start to work with environmental consultancy or sustainability consultancy, both companies like VSP and Ecoloop, but also since today all larger companies in Sweden need to have a sustainability report. They need people working with sustainability issues, both as managers or as engineers. So a lot of students tend to go to that types of work. Production, both related to, as you said, also your technical background or your other background, social background maybe, and environmental issues in companies or authorities. So.
Yeah, I think for the jobs, I would say like it mostly depends on what's your educational background, and in that particular area, you kind of get like the opportunities to explore the jobs in sustainability. And as Monica was saying, that most of the Swedish companies, they have a separate division on sustainability, and they're kind of, there's a, I would say huge demand, but there is a rising demand on people who are experienced or have knowledge in the sustainability issues.
And how to attack problems where you don't have any straight answers. So I think this is a very important thing. Yes. So I will let Akif answer this. My student life at KTH, was it fun?
Yeah, of course. Like the past 2 years have been like so many wonderful experiences over here. And for the new students who are coming, I would say like you have very different, like many and very different opportunities. Like it depends on what you want to do. We have also different clubs at KTH. Like KTH Hiking Club, KTH Boating Club, and all these different clubs. You can find it on Facebook. And over there, you can have like any activities that inspires you or are really interested in. You can definitely participate. And also like over here, we have the Sweden has a few museums over here, and those are like really like big and very informative, I would say. And also there is a Fotografiska museum, a photography museum, and there is a lot of things to do in Stockholm in general, I would say. I mean, you wouldn't feel bored that what to do in the city. Yeah. And always, like, since the transport is like very well organized and it's always in time, so moving okay. At least for me, coming from Dhaka,
depends on your background. Yes.
Yeah, coming from Dhaka, that's really, I would say, very much in time. So yeah, I mean, you have a lot of places to go, things to explore, and it depends on like you as an individual, like what you really want to do. And I know like walking, like being in the nature, enjoying the nature silently, to like late night discos, or I don't know if they're still called discos. It's like 80s, the clubs, you can say. Yeah, if you want to go to the clubs, you have like, I mean, every kind of opportunity activities you have over here. I mean, you can explore. Yeah. And
also, I would say from a program perspective, as a program coordinator, we really like you to form like groups, or you have organized study visits, for example.
Study visit is one of the like, I would say, one of the best memories I have over here, because we had this study visit to Gothenburg, and there we went and we had this study visit. We saw the farming of the algae and the fish, and all the sea farming that you saw in the research group. And also we took a day or two extra, and then we explored the sea on our own. So these memories, I mean, these are gonna last like a lifetime, I think. Yeah.
And then also you have like interest group like synergies, I think it's called, and we have a gender group forming, and I mean, you can organize your own study groups or your own interest groups as much as you want. So we really encourage that. So
I mean, you
will have a great time.
Yeah, I would say so. Yeah.
Okay, so this is more tough, hard facts again.
Yeah. So a lot of questions come like, how's the living cost and everything. Again, it comes to like how you as a person or maintain your life standard, or how is your expenses. So here an estimated cost is being given. And as you can see, the cost is, it's kind of between that. So it's kind of, what the number makes sense over here. And also like extra work as an international student. As an international student, you can work at the university. Like I'm working as a student ambassador, and I get something like amount from the university, and then you also have the student bloggers. You have different opportunities over here as an international student. And also, if you ask me like if there are opportunities for part-time job, that also depends on like your connections over here after you come over here. And there are because most of my friends, they do some work side by side by their studies, but just make sure that studies.
Exactly. This is something I would like to emphasize also. I understand if you need some part-time job, but and if you look at the schedule, sometimes it looks very empty because you have a lot of individual project work. So this means it's full-time studies. So part-time job, yes, but first try to find out how much time you have for that. I also often get questions about internship. Lots of companies provide internships, but that's not something that the program is providing. So there you need to go out on your own and try to find them. So there are possibilities.
And also for the summer jobs, you can find a lot of summer jobs over here that maybe, I mean, it would be best if you could find the summer jobs which are related partially or to some extent to the program or line of your studies. Then it kind of helps you to grow networks and know more people.
That's true. And also, again, something that's important, if you want to stay in Sweden and work in Sweden, take Swedish classes.
I would say like
important.
Swedish language.
Yeah.
It's a great advantage if you know Swedish language. Yeah.
They know English. They speak English in companies, but they still want you to know Swedish because documents, etc., are in Swedish. So that's important. So so this is a page about student ambassadors.
As you can see, different students. There I am. As you can see, that there are different students who were with the different programs, and since you're like mostly the participants over here, I assume are from sustainable technology, so you can ask your questions regarding the program or anything else like to me. And if you want to know about other programs, you have the opportunity. And this is also a way of like, you know, working as an international student in Sweden. Here also you can see that we are present, like KTH is present on all the different social platforms, I'd say. Also for specifically like for China, we are also in the WeChat, and we are in Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, LinkedIn, everywhere. So yeah, it wouldn't be difficult for you to find us.
Oh, I think so.
Yeah.
Just to point out that there are also upcoming webinars discussing maybe more formal things about migration agency, accommodations, etc., the arrival and introduction of students and so on. And the student union, the THS student union, will also have their own webinars. So just to show this picture to you.
Don't forget to, of course, sign up for the events.
Yeah, that's true. Also sign up for them. So again, just to give you the contact information, you will know, hopefully you have sent in a lot of questions to us, but in case you want or come up with other questions after this webinar, you have the contact information here. I will be very happy to answer your questions, and Akif also, and Victoria also. So, and if I cannot answer, I will send it further on to somebody who can answer it. So this is just a page to remind you. So that's for us. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you so much, Monica and Akif, for the presentation. We have a few questions from students watching. The first question is, how many students are in the program?
In the program, I will try to fix our page here, which I didn't manage. In the program, we have around 40 students. It's depending a little bit on how many places KTH gives us, but last year it was 40, it has 55 and 40 in total. And that is, I would say, around 15, 20 Swedish students, and the rest international students outside Sweden.
Thank you. Next question is, what is the ratio of international students and the countries in the program?
So I was forward here. The ratio is, I would say, 60–70%, depending. It's a little bit different from year to year. So 60 to 70%, I would say.
Yes,
I think you were quite few Swedish students.
Yeah,
but, I think
like in our year, we don't have a lot of Swedish students. We have mostly international students. Yeah.
But in this coming year, I think there will be more.
Okay.
Yeah, so
it's gaining popularity in Sweden.
It varies a lot, depending a bit on how many we get from KTH and how many other universities in Sweden. So that will be very different.
Thank you. Here's another question. Is it possible to study second year's elective courses in the first year?
You can start in the second semester. The first year's first semester, as I said, is only mandatory courses, and those are prerequisites for a lot of courses in the second semester and in the second year. But for example, in the second semester, you can mix conditional elective and elective courses. And we will help you with organizing that so that you won't get in trouble in the end. So we will help you with that. But yes, it's possible.
Before every registration of the courses, there is always this seminar conducted by Monica, where she kind of guides us or let us know like which courses are available and which courses we can take, which are good for like our line of studies, and like she kind of briefs us on all the available courses. So yeah, I would say like you don't have to worry that much on which courses to take and when. Yeah, it will all be explained in due time.
Yeah.
Thank you. The next question is about how are the on-campus placements for this course program?
You mean the locations for the different lectures, etc., I guess. So they are all on campus, except of course for field trips, but the locations are within 15 minutes at the maximum from this public transport to the farthest end of KTH, but they are spread out. So depends on the amount of students for lecture. We have different sizes of lecture, so they would be spread out.
But it's all like, I mean, it's very close. It's very close.
Yeah.
All the locations of where the classes are gonna head. Yeah.
So the question that is kind of related to the first one, does the program include any or many field trips?
Depending again on the class. So for example, the course which is Technology Ecosystems, which is one of the first mandatory classes, it contains one field trip. Some of the classes like Waste Management has study visits. Applied Ecology, which is one of the conditional elective classes in the last semester, it contains a 1-week field study. And now it will be on Gotland, an island on the east coast of Sweden. Sometimes it's on the west coast. So yes, depending on class or course. Course.
All right. Which are some of the companies which comes to KTH to recruit?
All companies. I mean, the fair that I talked about, the Armada fair, that is for all KTH. So we have, KTH has some strategic partners, so it means the large companies like Scania, Volvo, things like that. But I would say this recruiting is also, it's managed by students, and I think that students invite companies that are of interest, and companies also ask to come. So
I can shed some light over here. So every year in November, during the third week, like 20 or 21st of November, we have this 2 days career fair with THA's Armada, organized by them. And over there, all the reputed companies from Sweden, they participate. And other than that particular event, there are also other smaller events where companies come on their own basis. But that's like the main event. And over there, a good news is for us, like people who are studying with sustainability, is like there is a green corner where companies which are working with environment or sustainability, all those companies are located at like one corner of the fair. So that's really helpful for us, like who wants to explore, because like sometimes we're like wondering like, okay, I want to work with sustainability and it's more related to maybe environment. So how does Volvo or Scania help me? But no, I mean, we have this different separate corner, a green, I don't know how to term it, I don't remember. It's like green corner or green zone, where we have all the companies which are looking for people from sustainability. So yeah.
And I think also, I mean, if you are as a student group interested in forming, for example, an event, I think that can also be that you can form a group working with companies and inviting, like having an evening or something like that, inviting them to tell them about you and to ask them to present themselves.
And let me see, the next question is about the schedule. When is the schedule going to be available?
The schedule for the fall will be available, I think, in some weeks. The semester starts the 26th of August. So, and then at least some weeks before, I'm a little bit unsure about the exact date, but at least in the end of autumn. I think from the 1st of May, actually, because students need the schedule in order to plan the courses for the fall. So I think in the beginning of May, it should be ready. At least the preliminary one.
Yeah.
There are always changes, but at least the preliminary one.
Thank you. Here's another question about the courses. Is it mandatory attendance at the courses?
Some courses have it, though not 100%. Usually it's like you get some kind of credits for the course, or it's a mandatory thing to attend like 70% of the lectures, for example. Mostly this is not the case. Mostly it's up to you to attend. Of course, things like that are mandatory, but the actual lectures are not usually mandatory.
Does the program involve mostly individual work or group work?
I would say it's both.
Yeah.
Yeah. All the courses have both group works and individual works.
Yeah.
Yeah. Most of the courses, almost. Yeah. I would say all.
I think all courses have some
courses
kind
have
of project work
yeah.
and individual works.
Yeah.
Usually also.
It's really good because it kind of helps you to to work as a team. Yeah.
And also, I mean, all courses are graded, and the grade usually depends on both project work and assignments, and sometimes an end exam. So not all courses have end exams. Some only grade on the assignments and project group work. So that's also a difference between different courses.
Yeah.
Thank you. Here's a question related to thesis work. Is it hard to find thesis work for the program?
No, not at all. We have a list of theses. You can find them if you go to the Sustainable Technology webpage, which is open. So the amount of thesis open just now, you can find even if you're not admitted to KTH even. So it's an open webpage. So there is a list. But if you want to do something outside the list, it's up to you to try to formulate or find or discuss with teachers or companies.
Thank you. So another question regarding the thesis. Which is the most popular topics?
Oh, that was difficult.
It's really hard to say which is the most popular topic, but I would say the most popular tool that's being used in all the thesis is the LCA.
Yeah. So thesis connected with LCA is often asked about. Depending on year, it's really strange. It fluctuates, but sometimes it's like thesis connected to environmental management. Sometimes it's thesis connected to waste management. So it differs from year to year. Now we have a lot on biochar also, I think.
Great, thank you. Here's a question about the date for the registration meeting.
Yep. If I remember correctly, and Victoria can come and point something at the door here, I think it's the 26th of August, actually, or the week before. I think I leave that question to Victoria Tidlund, so I'm not saying the wrong thing. There is a arrival day at KTH where international students are welcomed by KTH, and then there is like a week where we have events for international students mainly, but everybody is well. I mean, also Swedish students are welcome. We will have a registration day. And then in connection to the registration day, also the program will have a meeting or a kind of a, let's say, reception where you will take place and meet the old students and so on. You will be received by the old students, and we have some events connected to that also. But I guess I have to leave the exact date for Victoria, so I don't say anything wrong here.
Thank you.
I think also you find it on the web. I think, I'm sure you find it on the web also.
You will find it on the webpage, and then Victoria sends the message that it's on the 22nd of August, the registration for the program.
22nd. Thank you very much.
22nd of August.
The lecture started 26th and the registration is 22nd. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Then we have a question for Akif. What is your favorite thing about the program?
My most favorite thing about the program, it's, I would say, the way it kind of taught me to broaden my mind while seeing any particular problem. At first, before I came over here, when I used to see any particular problem, technical or like related to environment, since I always wanted to work with the environment and energy, I would just like focus on that particular problem. But maybe that problem was not originated where it is now, because of a very earlier process. So that's why, like, after coming over here, it kind of like broadened my view, like seeing the whole system. So that's why now I can see, like, okay, though the problem is occurring over here, but it may be, or it's originated over here. So now instead of focusing over here, if I focus over here, then the problem is like solved over here. So that's the best thing that I learned from this program. And also like the systems thinking, everything can be defined by a system that may be very complex, but if you can define it within a system, it's very easy then to come up with a solution or to address the problem. So these are I would say, the two things that's like the best two things that I've learned from this program.
Thank you. That was the last questions from the students watching. So thank you, Monica and Akif, for the presentation, and thank you for the students who joined the webinar. You can follow our
questions and your participation.
Yeah, and hope to see you.
Yeah.